In accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Laws 1975, we advise that notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board, town hall, and sending to the officially designated newspapers indicating that the meeting will take place at the community center at 6:30 p.m. on this date. The fire exits are located in the far right corner of the back and to my immediate left in the front. Per Resolution 156-20, establishing rules of conduct in the quorum of public meetings, please be advised of the following. All members of the public must step up to the podium, state for the record their name before addressing mayor and council. Roll call.
Councilman Agliata, Councilman Haynes.
Here.
Councilman Hurley, Councilman McDonald.
Here.
Councilman Slockbower.
Here.
Council President Burnside.
Here.
Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have one appointment for tonight for the Environmental Commission. Rachel Kelly, appointment, term ending December 31st, 2026. Get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thanks. Approval of minutes. Regular meeting, February 27th, 2025. Budget meeting, March 8th, 2025. Regular meeting, March 13th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Councilman reports. Councilman Slockbower.
Evening, Mayor, Council, evening, public. My report could be lengthy, but here we go. So, Ordinance Committee will be meeting next Thursday. That's the 15th. Again, I can't say enough. We leave a couple things on the table. Some things we have to fine tune. And one of the biggest ones I'm working on with the committee is e-batteries. As we all know, what happens with e-batteries, they set out fires, spark cars, and such. Moving right along, the Environmental Commission, we have a new person on tonight, was just appointed. But the rework meeting will be on the 9th, that's tomorrow. And don't forget the river cleanup is May 17th, 8 o'clock in the morning, Jackson Avenue at the parking area. So hopefully have a good showing of people to come out, let's clean our community, take care of our river. Something that's very dear and close to my heart is Memorial Day. Just let people know we do more than just a parade. Yesterday, we all went to the Vietnam Veteran Memorial down Ordinances. You know, there's a wall down there for people passing, got killed in action. And there's some Rockaway names down there. So we went down there and placed roses on a wall to represent the people of Rockaways. There's, two towns of Rockaways. You can't forget also, the parade is still open if anybody wants to participate. I know the Guard Club will be there. Looking forward to it. It's a great day. It's a great community day to show respect. So if you want to get involved, it's a simple phone call to me or email, easy to find. Along with that, the people don't realize following Memorial Day, today's actually a very important day. B-Day, Victory over Europe. It was signed on this day 80 years ago. The war was still going on, but today was the day they signed the Declaration of Ceasefire. Along with that, also, the banner program. We did a banner program. We had so many people last year that didn't get a chance, so we have some more going up this year. And to talk to these people is very moving, to hear the backstory of why they want their family member on a banner. A family resident, her father went to World War II, along with his two brothers. Well, he had to leave the war halfway through, the reason being, both his brothers got killed. So it's very moving backstory to learn what these people did. They're residents of Rockaway.
Wow.
So it's a great way to honor the people who lived here. But I do have a comment. A couple of weeks ago, me and the mayor are out on a Sunday morning, and we were very fortunate nobody got hurt. A tree came down Parks Lake, a large tree. It was a beautiful tree, but you can never tell if a tree is diseased or not just by looking at it. And this one was, unfortunately, the side was rotted. But I was watching, looking around the lake also, we have a lot of trees that are distressed at the lake. we need to have an arborist to inspect those trees. I see a lot of dead limbs, so even by the concession stand, there's a large limb up a tree. Along with Lakeside Drive, I can't express that enough. We need someone to do evaluation in this area. We were very fortunate that they got rid of that day, because they all actually had a walk that day. There's also an event going on, so we're very fortunate. But that league is such a diamond in this town, we have to appreciate it, enjoy it, and put our money to it. So that's my report, Mayor, thank you.
Yeah, with the tree, it was, the health of the tree. I mean, it seems like you have to drill into the base of the tree. It looks like a healthy tree, and then as soon as it fell over, it was all rotted at the base of it.
I bet you that tree was at least 100 years old. But you can't tell because it looks healthy, but it's rotting inside. The only way you can really do that is there's a process. You have to drill the tree and measure as you drill. But we're very fortunate.
No, thank goodness, we're a couple speeches, went a couple minutes over, down at the gazebo before the walk kicked off, and, it fell right before the walk started.
We got lucky, but we don't want that to ever happen again. Nobody ever heard. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, and, thanks for everything with, Memorial Day Parade, certainly with we just signed off on the extra poles, for the banners, and where else were we gonna where's some of
The banners?
recommendations that we had for that?
So we'll be more on Beach Street, Academy Street, along the cemetery, which is part of the old parade route. Everybody know? Some on Jackson Avenue also. So you gotta remember that, so I'm gonna tell a little history of that Memorial Day. We are probably the only civic group that began the Memorial Day representation in 1869, so we're 156 years in, this group. The original beginning of the parade, was during the American Civil War. They bring the war dead to Beach Street and Main Street and take them by horse and carriage up to Presbyterian Church of Borough. There's over 560 veterans buried in that cemetery. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. But that's how it all began. And it all began from a Civil War veteran from Rockaway Borough that didn't want to forget his fellow veterans. And the biggest push was the Cumberland River accident, where 17 men from Rockaway died in the drowning. So they didn't want to forget their good legacies they did. But that's how it all began, 1869. Just never to forget. Thank you, Mayor, I appreciate
And
it.
there'll be some extra banners. Obviously, we have enough poles, within our downtown. But I know Rockaway Township, they have banners and they're going across all the way down, starting at the gazebo on the poles all the way to the snack stand.
Correct. We just had a meeting Tuesday night. Rockaway Township was waiting to put their banners up, but they're also with the Rotary, they're leaving the furls of the American flag alongside the guardrails. So it's going to look very presentational. Very day Memorial Day. It's a proud day for us. So it's going to be a great day. And I'm telling you, we should come out for that day. As long as the weather's good. Pray for sunshine. All right?
Step off 11:30.
11:30 to 26 people. 26. Come on out. It'll be a great day.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman Slockbower.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Councilman Haynes.
Good evening, Mayor, fellow council members, and our public. First order of business, I move that the bills presented to the Borough of Rockaway for payment by the Borough, as evidenced by proper vouchers, be referred to the committee or unit contacted for the same, and who endorsed by them and approved by appropriate action of the council, they are to be paid.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No DPW report this week. I did attend the school tax rollout or the school meeting regarding the taxes. Local taxes for this school year are going to be $10,789,745, which compared to last year's $9,360,000 is about a $1.4 million increase. They're also going to be getting a debit for service reduction from one of the referendums in the neighborhood of about $379,000. So the effective tax increase for the 25-26 school year is going to be 10.84%. All right, so if you own a house and it's assessed at $304,100, your increase will be $388 for the year. or $97 for the quarter, or if you want to look at it a monthly way, it'll be $32 a month. Compared to the increase from 24-25, which was 5.45, you're looking at over 16% over the last 2 years.
And that's the impact on the schools, right?
Yes, that's just the local schools or borough schools. That has nothing to do with the Marcellus Regional District. So how do we get there? Some of the additional costs that we saw for is transportation, tuition, and related services of $831,972. Health benefits this year went up by 16.25% to $2,614,251. The aid or the extraordinary aid that we get from the state went down from 72% to 62%. Some of the potential impacts to the school budget from this will be potential staffing implications, possible program reductions, impact on technology initiatives, professional development will be fully funded through grants, so that's a good thing. With the facilities, obviously, they need to remain in compliance, and they're going to look into hiring or getting one of the faculty members to increase their grant applications. But as of right now, they're in a pretty tough bind. Also, the business administrator has decided to retire, I believe, effective May 15th. So they will be looking for a new business administrator, and they will also be hiring a part-time position for someone to basically kind of oversee the checks and balances throughout the district. So that's my report on that there.
Thank you.
And I also asked if Mr. Graff and Superintendent would come to a meeting in the future, and they will.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And they'll offer to give the presentation.
Okay,
That's my report.
thank you. Motion to accept the report of Councilman Haynes.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Councilman McDonald.
Yes, good evening, everybody. As many of you are aware, the Little League opening day was postponed due to weather. There's no rescheduled date as of this moment. So as soon as we get something, and if they're gonna still do it, we'll let everybody know. And our next meeting is again this Tuesday. It's always the fourth Tuesday. It's the May 27th at 7 p.m. here in the community center. Any questions for Rec or?
Wasn't Little League, weren't they planning to march in the Memorial Day parade?
Yeah, I think that's the new plan, the March into Memorial Day.
Did you get a
Have
heads
heard
up on
that?
that?
You heard that?
I guess.
Apparently, that's what I had heard, and I think the mayor heard, so.
I heard that too, so it's,
Yeah.
Councilman, if you can follow up
Yep.
with, on that, and then get back directly to Councilman Slockbower so he knows how to plan it.
Oh, well. So that's the report. That's all I have.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman McDonald.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. President Burnside.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to report on the police activity in the month of April. Again, our mighty force does an awful lot of work. They responded to 1,322 calls for service. They responded to 44 crash investigations, one including a fatality that I'll describe in a minute. I previously reported on it. There were 89 traffic stops, 41 citations, 27 moving violations, and 13 parking violations. They conducted 4 arrests. The afternoon of April 9th, 2025, the Rockaway Borough Police responded to the scene of a motor vehicle crash that had occurred in the area of 202 Route 46. A box truck struck the operator of an electronic bike. Mike Borbosa, 67, previously of Elmwood Park, was transported to Morristown Memorial where he was pronounced dead. The driver of the box truck was not injured. He remained on the scene and was very cooperative with the crash investigation. The investigation continues with the Morris County Prosecutor's Office and Rockaway Borough Police. Video evidence is still being processed. At this time, the criminal charges have not been filed against the truck driver. For the fire department, they held their monthly meeting this week, May 7th, and took the following actions, scheduling drills on May 23rd and May 28th. Would someone make a motion to approve the actions of the fire department?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. And the only other thing, I want to wish Kim a very happy birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
That's it.
Motion to accept the report of Council President Burnside.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Attorney?
Good evening, everybody. I have nothing to report for public session this evening.
Thanks. For the mayor, I just want to acknowledge Matt Mallard, who's sitting in the back. He's a representative from Assemblyman Christian Barranco's office. I do have a good working relationship with Christian as well as the staff in his office, so I appreciate you coming out and raising your hand. But Matt has a couple of Christian's business cards, which he'll leave on the table in the back, just in case anybody needs to contact the assemblyman. So thanks, Matt, for coming.
Thank you, Mayor.
Do I need to call the assemblyman to confirm that you actually came to the meeting tonight? Or?
Please do.
You wanna come up front, we'll take a picture with the mayor to prove that you were here?
Social media.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Also, soil removal continues at the library. Soil is being dug up, screened, trucked out. So it's been ongoing for over a week now. This week, last week, it continues, and there's going to be obviously a huge push next week to finish the job off. Obviously, I think our deadline is May 19th. So we have a couple of DPW guys really contributing to the cause down there. So. The Randolph Health Department is having some health screenings. They have a cancer assessment going on. They'll have something, a mobile unit at the Assembly of God parking lot, June 12th, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. On that. Also, there's also Randolph Health with a blood work clinic, which will be held at the Randolph Municipal Building from Friday, May 16th, from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Pre-registration is recommended but not required. One of the reasons why they're doing it in Randolph instead of having a mobile unit here is you have to have at least 10 people, show up, which we haven't had in the past. We've had, less than a handful, 3 people. And if we don't have more than 10, then folks get charged for these services. So that's why they're having it at Randolph, but they're actually, Randolph is also the health department for Roxbury, so, and so they're doing a combined blood work clinic in Randolph for both Rockaway Borough, Randolph, and Roxbury. Okay. So, anyway, that's my report. A motion to accept the report of the mayor.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Report for administrator.
Good evening, everyone. Just reporting, last meeting I told you we were having the Maximizing Your Tax Benefits on April 28th. About approximately 25 people showed up. It was very informative. The woman that was teaching it was great. She gave her phone number for the seniors and the people that were eligible for the program to help them out directly. So I felt a very good turnout and very good, again, very informative. The only other thing I have is Councilman Slockbower, you had a couple of meetings ago asked about the tree on the beach, and that is now
That's
officially
removed.
removed.
Thank you.
Yep. So that's all I have this evening.
Thanks. Motion to accept the report of the administrator.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All there.
Aye.
Borough clerk. Couple resolutions. consent agenda. 7825, accept the resignation of Public Works laborer. 79-25, approve special event permit application, JMK Events. 80-25, refund construction permit fees, block 73, lot 34. 81-25, request approval of items of revenue and appropriation, recycling tonnage. 82-25, authorize execution of application for supplemental funding of municipal lines. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept all resolutions on the consent agenda, beginning with 78-25 and commencing with 82-25.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower,
Yes.
Council President Burnside.
Yes.
Do ordinance for introduction. 25-10, bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in by the Borough of Rockaway in the County of Morris, appropriating $1,340,500, therefore and authorizing the issuance of $818,675 bonds or notes for the borough to finance part of the cost thereof. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower,
Yes.
Council President Burnside.
Yes.
25-11, a bond ordinance providing for the various water utility improvements in by the Borough of Rockaway in the County of Morris, appropriating $612,400, therefore and authorizing the issuance of $488,607 bonds or notes in the Borough of Rockaway to finance part of cost thereof. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower,
Yes.
Council President Burnside.
Yes.
Thanks. 25-12, ordinance appropriating $452,400 from the sewer reserve for sewer rehabilitation on West New Street and by the Borough of Rockaway in County of Morris. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower,
Yes.
Council President Burnside.
Yes.
25-13, municipal and water utility salaries. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower,
Yes.
Council President Burnside.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. I'd like to open the meeting to the public.
Good evening, Joyce Farmreath, 99 East Flag Street. I have a question about the health department contract. It's $141,000 last year, 141 or 147 this year. You've got a reserve in there or something, you're going to make numbers. But in December, at the health department meeting, you had, Melissa had let us know that there was going to be a reduction in the work they were doing for the maintenance of properties. Therefore, Tom wrote out an ordinance so that you can have DPW, fire marshal, and other people take over that particular section of maintenance for the property that the health department will not be doing.
Right, so the fire part, Tom Shabazza will be taking over property maintenance.
DPW, Rockland Hood.
Tom Shabazza.
Oh, okay, but when Melissa said they're gonna just give us 6 months so we can get our ducks in a row again. Where is the reduction of the cost of the contract?
So the cost of the contract was just for health, they are not charging us for those 6 months, it's just the cost of health contract went up just for health for there is no.
But it's the same amount as last year.
Yeah,
They were doing that work last year.
yeah.
So shouldn't something come off of that contract
Well,
this
the
year?
cost of the contract went up with the new version. It's
So
not
do
always,
you guys realize that if you actually hired a health person from, a nurse, could work full or part-time for less than $141,000 a year, especially since you're giving a large amount of the heavy load work to the fire marshal now and DPW to help. So what are they doing for us that cost this kind of money?
well, the health services, nurse services, mostly,
Well, now they're not coming to town because, now
they are.
The inspectors, we still have to have a certified health officer in addition to the public health nursing, all of the screenings, there's a bit, in the contract, as far as the delivery of care and watching the daycare centers and inspecting those
And restaurants.
and restaurants.
So my question is, they're still charging us a whole lot more than other towns around us are being charged. Are you gonna go out this year? You didn't go this year. Are you gonna go look for next year?
We have, there's been no takers. We reached out to at least 10 different towns. The county we reached out to,
The county should figure out, the county should take us.
they told us flat out.
The county, when I called the county, they said they're not taking on any more counts.
When are you starting for the 26th season?
What's that?
When are you gonna start looking for the 26th season?
For what, health?
Health.
We have a 5-year contract with Randall.
Okay. Quick question on the library. Where are you dumping the dirt?
P Park.
What?
A P Park.
It's
a
called
license-
P Park.
It's a licensed remediation place where we can bring dirt.
Where is it?
Patterson.
Okay, thank you.
I will comment, I got a call from 2 residents who had gotten notices about their property not looking up to snuff. And it does seem that Tom Trapasso they've become very proactive as opposed to reactive. So perhaps that's a good thing.
Hello, Kate Clark, 66 West Flag Street. Thank you for the update on the Memorial Day banners. When are those going up, please?
Hopefully the 19th.
Thank you. If you would like me to take pictures of all of them again, like I did last year, I'm happy to do so.
Thank you.
And then I want to mention the Board of Ed. So you were at the meeting this 2 days ago.
Yes.
Obviously it's going up a significant amount. I wanted to ask, when was the last time, aside from going to the meetings, that anyone from the town met with the Board of Education?
I attend at least 3 or 4 meetings a year, if not more.
Okay.
And
Anybody else?
They come here once or twice a year, so we do see them.
They're a separate governing body.
They are, yeah.
Yes, I understand that. So they manage a budget of maybe 13 million, you only got 10. Given the amount that has gone up this year, and the amount our budget has gone up this year is in the municipal budget, and what they also said about future years, you'll need to have a better relationship than going to a few meetings a year, like I do that. So it's going up a significant amount. I'm not here to say that you can change what the school board is doing, but there's obviously an impact. You said at the last meeting you can't talk about, you want to keep it on local issues and not focus on, federal mandates and whatnot. Well, federal mandates are having an impact in our town on grants and things like that, and the funding that schools are getting. Extraordinary aid is one of the biggest shifts in the past couple of years, and there's no answer. They emailed the congresswoman who's running with Mr. Barranco, and I'm sure he read out the letter that she sent back, and it was a pretty generic response, to be honest, referencing a bill about, hey, we want to help you fund more extraordinary aid, but that bill, when you look online, it's dead. So I ask you again, what kind of relationship are you looking to have with the Board of Education moving forward?
I'll speak on that. So Ed Graff and I speak probably every other week. On by phone, he and I speak. We talk about things that are going on in the schools. We talk about, impacts. I do not report on a lot of it because him and I, it's not for public knowledge. But this problem with the increase in taxes, this is not just a Rockaway Borough problem. This is a Morris County problem. This is a 21 county in New Jersey problem. It's a large problem. The biggest impacts to this, this year's and last year's budget has basically been the increase in healthcare, which we here as a municipality see that with our own workers. Also, you know, obviously the state is tightening their belts and they're not giving as much money to either us or the town, or the school district. And also, you know, unfortunately, there are kids that have high needs and are very needy to go out of what we can offer here at the borough, and they need to go to specialized schooling. And apparently, I think we have 3 of them here in the borough now, and
We have 8.
you know, that's, well,
8.
3 that are severely disabled, where they need a nurse on the bus with them.
Yeah, that's incoming tuition. We get money for those students coming in. There are 8 students that live in this district that are placed out of district
Right.
because of their needs. That's a requirement that we pay that, and that's not the issue that anyone has with the budget going up, right? I think the same issues with when I came to the budget meetings here, what Ed had said towards the end of the meeting is they're having to look at every line item in the budget and really tighten their belt. And you all said that during budget times, like that's not getting any easier like for next year. So
You were there as well when President Kraft did say they plan on looking at every item individually. He did say
Yeah.
that, so I mean, you know, us as a governor body can't say, hey, did you look at page 12 or did you look at this?
I'm not saying that you should, Mr. Haynes, but I think a better
You have to take
relationship
them at
than,
work.
like, I know as much as you about this, and I'm just a resident here, and, you know, I've spoken about this at both sets of meetings, about the housing that's coming in. It's not I don't have an issue with the housing per se, but the impact that it's gonna have on the infrastructure of the town, doesn't seem like much is being done, because, in fact, the Board of Education admitted that not much is being done on it, because the business administrator has retired. He retired actually effective the end of March.
I was told March, but I was
But-
told May 15th.
May 15th, well, maybe that's when his contract ends. He has not been operating or administrating the school since the end of March. Mr. Greco, the superintendent of schools, has been doing double duty.
Yes.
Yes, so the person that they have in now is an interim, we're hoping to get another interim, then maybe a full-time person. So what I'd said at that meeting is, and it's the same for here, it's very worrying that you don't have a long-term plan. Extremely worrying. Like, you keep saying, oh well, that's next year. Like, how much money are we getting? I'm sorry, I'm rambling. How much money are we getting from new construction and new businesses and new rateables this year, please? I don't know about that. Like, we haven't got an answer for the Board of Ed stuff. So I'm trying to understand how, like,
There's a lot of projects out there, but until they're done, they don't get assessed, so I don't have a dollar value, what new rateables will be.
so you didn't put a dollar amount, estimate a dollar amount in the budget for 2025 of the new taxes you're gonna get?
Until the projects are done, then we assess. what the-
No, I'm not talking about the projects that are gonna be finished next year. That will be in next year's budget. There's a certain amount, is there not, on the summary page of the budget that tells you how much?
Right, I
you're
get that from
anticipating?
the assessor at the end of the year.
Is that the 2.4 million-ish? Like, cause there's a calculation, obviously, maybe this is not the time, just try and answer it. Thank you. Also, do you have a liaison to the high school district? Why not?
We don't.
How much is the the high school district budget going up, do you know?
I do not know.
Has it been released or adopted yet?
I don't know.
Oh, well, it has.
The school is, like I said, a separate governing body, and I haven't seen budget.
And that's a ridiculous answer, Mr. Mayor, that every single area that contributes towards our tax rate is going up, and you tell us you don't have a relationship, or no one goes to any of those meetings. Like, at a minimum, you should know that it was adopted on April 28th, and there was a meeting, and it's going up by 2 million. My goodness.
And what number would that be, 2%?
I don't know, like, you have to go work out the other
I think
calculations.
it's about 2%.
Yeah, but it's still 2%.
That's what most school
Yeah,
districts
I know.
are at 2%.
But it would be nice if we weren't so, like, no more, The thing that they said at the Board of Education is, oh, we're looking at every line item now. Why now? Why not 4 years ago? Why not all these, you know?
I mean, with all due respect, that's a question for them.
Oh, I know it is.
I mean, we talk all the time here in our budget sessions, we talk about what we may need to do next year.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they do that too, but there's things that happen. I mean, you can't throw a, you know, you can throw a dart at a wall and say, hey, yeah, healthcare is going up 10%. If it goes up 15, you're short 5%.
I understand that.
These things are all very, I mean, it's, and I think you heard me pretty clear saying that these tax increases are not sustainable
No,
for the residents of the town.
I know, and you're all in a position to actually do something about it. All we can do is pay our tax bill when it comes.
I don't believe we have any jurisdiction over that any longer. We used to have something in that where they could go out in the public vote, correct?
They used to do that, right?
Yeah, but we no longer can do that, so we really don't have much to say in that.
That's right, it used to be a referendum on that, ballot.
Okay, can you appoint a liaison to the high school district?
Sure. I'll go. I'll be more than happy to go.
Thank you, Ms. Haynes.
No,
Also, you mentioned the library remediation, and you started to truck it out. Has anything, no, the soil remediation?
It's removal, not remediation, it's not contaminated.
Okay. The soil removal, but you removed it as a P part. Have you paid any money on that yet?
Not yet.
Okay. You got a quote?
$14 a ton.
$14. How many tons do you think of that?
Or that's why we haven't paid it yet. As soon as we get the final tickets, we know how much it is.
Okay. Thank you. And then on the salaries, can you just let us know what changed, please?
Whatever line items had to be changed based off of that, I don't have the exact line items that were exactly changed.
Okay. So it's all the regular increases that you included in the budget?
So yeah, whenever they approved for increases, we calculate it, and we just had to make sure that the salary bands,
Okay.
that the salary range match. The
Yeah.
salaries fall within the range on the salary ordinance.
Yeah, the main one that I know is that, like, the others are pretty nominal, but the fire marshal went up. Is that the guy you were talking about
For property maintenance.
That went up about 3,000, I guess. It's a significant amount more work. Okay. And then, why are Mr. Agliata and Mr. Hurley not here today, please?
I apologize, what was the question?
Councilman Hurley and Councilman Agliata, they're not in attendance today?
Councilman Hurley is on vacation.
Okay. Do you know where Andrew is?
He had a personal issue.
Okay. Actually, it's probably better, I'll end on this, because there's a few things. That Mr. Hurley's not here. I've sent a couple of emails about this. I have not heard back regarding the historical committee. Are they tasked by the town? Are you all responsible for them?
I mean, they're a separate committee.
But they're a committee that because they're a non-profit, a separate organization. You don't have to appoint anyone to that, like they do it themselves.
Yeah, I mean, right, you know, Councilman Hurley is, I guess, the president.
He's the president, correct? We are tax exempt.
Mm-hmm.
There's everything we do ourselves. Nothing's on from the towns. We do it on our fundraiser.
You pay rent?
I think $1, if I'm correct.
I
Yeah.
believe you're correct.
Well, I know there's a couple of you that I'm not gonna read out my email, but I've sent a note to the historical committee and Mr. Hurley specifically about some of the things that I've observed at those meetings and the behaviors. Copied some of you. I'd really appreciate a response because I think it's concerning given where we're at with the town and they're a historical committee that I have zero confidence that they'll lead us through Rev 250 in a positive way. Like they miss everything. So, thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
Hi, Jamie Gilos, 184 Mount Pleasant. It's going to be hard to follow Katie.
Sorry, I don't want to say.
Hi, I was reading the minutes from last year, for the meetings in June and.
Sorry to interrupt, but we need everybody in the audience to be quiet while somebody's speaking so we can have a clear record, only one person at a time, please.
Thank you very much. I read the minutes last year in June and late May, and unfortunately Pride Month wasn't mentioned. So I was wondering if the council was open to remedying that by issuing a proclamation commemorating Pride Month this year.
I haven't thought about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can email you an example, because I know the township issued a proclamation a few years ago, so, I mean, that would be great. I've emailed you before, I know you're a quick replier, so I can't wait for a reply. Thank you.
Thank you.
Angelo Vitale, 151 North Pleasant Avenue, Rockaway, New Jersey. Mayor, we've been talking before, like all week itself. I have a question, and I didn't get an answer yet. I guess we dabbled someplace else. For those days that, we had 6 days so far, like 2 days, the first 2 days that D'Onofrio was working screening itself. April 21st, I believe. My question is, on we had 6 days that the machines and the screener and the excavator were not running at all. I never asked you why weren't they working for 6 beautiful days?
No, I think that was a week, and one of the responses, I'm sure, though not perfect response, but certainly the working that they did, they had the piles there. We had finalizing the paperwork to get rid of the soil. That wasn't, waiting for the manifest to come back from Peak Park.
So
Yes, that delayed some work.
Okay. So let's put it this way, isn't that like putting the horse before the cart itself? Like, in other words, we're taking those 6 days itself. The excavator is about $365 to rent the day itself. The screener is $216 to rent the day itself. So on 6 days itself, we didn't have the machines working at all. I mean, that's taxpayers' money that we could be using someplace else. The other issue is, remember we had talked about maybe start to load maybe 6:15 in the morning itself. Why can't we get that if the store, the facility, Peak Park opens up 7 o'clock in the morning? Why are we loading after like 7:30, 8 o'clock? My object is, because this is what I do for a living, we can get 5 loads completed a day. You're paying Hyler Trucking between $125, $135, I don't know what the agreement you have. But figure $125, 8 hours minimum they have to have, that's $1,000 a day. So on $1,000 a day itself, you're not getting 8 hours of work because you're starting late, and P Park actually quits at 3:30, but they're quitting around 2 o'clock. So we're getting less than 8 hours. We're getting maybe even 6 point something hours out of these trucks. Again, we're losing money on Hyler Trucking. Why can't we get 6 o'clock loading up and get 5 loads a day versus 3 loads a day?
No, I mean, it's been ongoing, right? I think we're getting more efficient as we go along here. Like I said, tomorrow trucks are expected at 6:30, trucks were expected at 7 this morning, but they didn't show up until 7:45. I think there's really no excuse, right?
I know.
I don't want to say traffic, I don't want to, some kind of false excuse. I think we are getting more efficient to get this done.
So I would have them start loading 6 o'clock. That way, granted, a half hour load the truck. Shouldn't take that long, but a half hour. 6:30 they take off, 7 o'clock they get there. P Park opens at 7, and at 3:30 they quit. But they also said at P Park, if you're running late, you can give a call, say, I'm running late, 4 o'clock, I'll be there. You'll get 5 loads right there. So, and the other thing is, why are we running 2 trucks or 1 truck? Let's think about it, half hour, anybody that runs numbers. Let's say half hour load up a truck, and you're running 2 trucks. You did 3 loads. You guys told me you could do possibility 4 loads a truck. I said you'll be lucky if you get 3. And you guys got 3. And I was hoping, I really was hoping you were gonna get 4 to, you know, show me I was wrong about that. But after the mathematics, you're going only 3 truckloads a day. So 3 times 2 trucks, 6 truckloads. You take 30 minutes to load a piece. It's 180 minutes, 3 hours. That's 5 hours of the machine operator doing nothing. That's wasted money again. 5 hours. 180 minutes to load up the trucks. And the machine operator, I don't blame the machine operator. I'm just saying who's making the decision on 2 trucks or 1 truck? That, I want to know like a name. That's what I'm trying to.
No, we can't give you a name.
You can't give me a name.
You're asking about a personnel matter, so we can.
No, I'm not doing a personnel. No, I'm not doing a personnel.
No, so I think as far as the trucks, right, we put the request in the highlight, how many trucks he has available.
Ah, but you're playing favorites now. I can give you Monty, Green Outlook. I'm not going to give you my trucks because I'm not trying to
Well, we
interrupt you.
did contact Monty and they wouldn't take it.
But I can get you more trucks is not the problem. So we're playing, so in other words, if you're gonna do the work yourself, look, I'm trying to help you by saying, listen, you need to cover all the grounds, not just the pile that you have there. Because like Patty just answered the question, $14 a ton. It's actually $14 a ton, but if they find the dirt extra wet and extra heavy, they could charge you up to $42 a ton. So, I mean, you know, I know this because this is what I do for a living itself. So, you know, we've been talking about this for 16 months, and this is gonna be like the end of the road. We're coming closer and closer to it. So, and probably right now, you are, every truck you have approximate, the truck carries 25 tons, approximate maximum. Let's say if it was 25, you have what, maybe not 14 loads? I don't know how many loads you did today.
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, so let's just grant we'll give them 14. They did 6 loads the first day. The second day they ran 1 truck. They did 3 loads there, that's 9. Let's say today, you said 1 truck broke down. Let's say 1 truck runs 3 loads, maybe the other one, I'll give 2 loads. What do we got, 14? So 14 times what do you call 25, you have moved 350 tons right there, $14 a ton right there, $4,900 right there. How much did we pay Hyler itself? We paid $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, another $4,500 we paid Hyler trucking. How much do we pay for what do you call for our machine rentals so far? We paid another $6,000, $56 right there. Our engineering costs, that's gotta be in the cost there too. That's $4,200 right there in the cost. So people were asking how much we're paying. This is, you know.
There will be an accounting of.
No, I understand that, but what I'm trying to say is I would start 6 o'clock. Let's get 5 loads in. Because Hyler is making, if you're getting, you have to guarantee them 8 hours. And to get 3 loads, we can get 5 loads. So, and to answer Joe Bell about, like, I'm not personalizing, it's not a vendetta against one person. We're trying to say, is this organized? This was a race team, you're still in a race garage, you're not even on the track.
No, I understand, but we just can't talk about it.
No, I understand. So, how much do you think so far per load it costs right now? For all the downtime we had, we're over $1,700 a truckload itself. That's engineering's, Hyler trucking, rental machine 1, machine 2. That's another thing too, the screener itself. The screener, you rented for 16 days, you only used it for 2 days. I mean, isn't that wasted money right there? That was $3,500, $3,450 wasted right there. I mean, we're wasting money on Hyler trucking. You have to get 8 hours there. We're wasting money on the screener. We're wasting money on the excavator itself. We have to work. So what I suggest is that we start 6 o'clock and we're at P-PAC at the front door and pull off 5 loads a day itself. Can it be done? Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Angela.
Robert Tomato, Jackson Howard. Question, so now that we found the place in Patterson, will that be used for all the jobs that happen in town, like water main breaks? Is that where we're gonna use for our waste removal now?
I can't answer that at the moment.
Have you gotten the prices on the dumpsters yet that you said that you were gonna have at the DPW for when they do a job and they bring back the waste? Have you gotten those prices yet for a dumpster?
Well, we budgeted 6,000, but they were waiting for the budget to be passed to.
I thought you budgeted 25 and 25, a total of 50.
Oh, you're told, no.
That's what you said for the dumpsters and the dirt removal of the
So,
jobs going on.
we
in
budgeted
town.
25,000 and 25,000 for testing and dirt removal,
Yeah, that's for
but
the
not the
jobs
dumpsters. The dumpsters were
That's
separate.
separate, okay.
Correct.
And now, that 50,000 we're saying total, the 25 and 25, was that part of the library job, or
Just
is
for any
that total
student.
separate?
No, that, I budgeted 50,000 between the two, but for soil removal.
So right now, the money, that 50,000 is paying for the library and whatever happens in
Correct.
the town. So, right now, we're if those numbers are correct or close, we're already 17,000 down from the 50.
I don't know where,
Yeah,
yeah,
close.
numbers
I
are-
will report on the account.
Once it's done.
Yep,
Okay.
that's right.
Hi, Bonnie Buck. I'd like to just speak a second about the river and the knotweed. I know you guys are probably not going to, do anything, Patty, with the, project till next year. Do you have any plans on cleaning up the knotweed so we don't get further damage in the meantime?
So part of the restoration or part of, they will be spraying the knotweed as they have done in the past.
When are they gonna do that?
I don't have a date for you.
Do you have any idea, Tom? When they're gonna be
So that's
spraying
something
the
that Councilman Haynes will follow up with,
I'll follow up with Billy with that.
Okay. One other thing too, I'm happy that Tom Tarasso is gonna be doing the cleanup in, Rockaway. I know he's gonna do a fabulous job. One problem that I have though with the ordinances is with the invasive species being excluded, and that this council took them out intentionally, and they're passing another ordinance with, invasive species, and they're still excluded. I mean, other towns are adding them in to protect the residents, that if your neighbor has an invasive species, that they just have to keep it to the line. I would encourage the council to look at this again and correct it for the residents, and to finally do something for the residents. I mean, there's no reason that should be completely excluded.
You could forward it to Councilman Slockbower to take a look at the ordinance.
I'll have a discussion with the ordinance committee and Mr. Bell.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, good evening. April Royal. I'm here on behalf of the nearly 400 members of Rockaway PRIDE to once again call on this council to display the pride flag here in Rockaway Borough. It is incredibly important in this climate to recognize your citizens, to recognize love, to uphold equality in our communities. And I call on you again to make that a priority, put it to the vote of the council. There are no legal issues that would prevent you from displaying the flag if you were so inclined. Thank you.
Any other comments from the public?
Hello, Katie Clark again, sorry I forgot to mention, I promised someone I asked. You said at the last meeting that we couldn't talk about 11 Wall Street.
Excuse me?
You said that we couldn't talk about 11 Wall Street.
You have a question? Or is that's the land use? But
Yeah.
I think they just got approval at land use
Yes.
the other night.
So there's in addition to the school budget, that's that development, other development, is one of the biggest issues in our town that people are concerned about.
Wall Street?
Not just Wall Street, Wall Street, no. You have to take them case by case, right? There's so many, at least 7 big ones totaling 172 apartments in the next few years. And I just think it'd be good to hear you guys speak about some of that a little bit more and the impact that it's having around town. Thank you.
Thanks, Katie. Any other comments from the public? Hearing none, close the meeting. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.